It's Saturday, March 2nd, 2024, coming to you from Palm Desert, California, where it's very, very windy today. Probably 30, 40 mile an hour gusts right now. It's been windy all morning, and it is now early afternoon, and we're still having this windstorm take place. I know along the coast in Orange County, it's raining, it's very cold and gloomy. And up north, Northern California, Sierra Nevada, they are expecting 10 feet of snow, and they are experiencing 140 mile per hour winds. Pray for these people. I hope that people living in those areas have been preparing and prepping, that they have food and water put away, that they have heat sources, and that they have the gear and the equipment that they need to get through this, because they're expecting power outages. And basically, these people, many of these people are going to be on their own. Think about this, 10 feet of snow, 140 mile per hour winds. And unfortunately, there are probably many people that live in those areas that are not prepared, who have not prepped, and who are really going to be in a bad situation. And unfortunately, some people will probably, hopefully, I pray to God, but unfortunately, some people will probably even lose their lives, because this is going to be an enormous, a really, really bad blizzard, bad storm. So keep these people in your prayers. But it's another reminder to all of us why we prepare, why we prep, why we put the food away, why we put the extra clothing, the extra gear away, and why we're preparing for emergency, because it could be a natural disaster, but it could also be an economic disaster. We don't know. It could be both. But these people up north are experiencing now a natural disaster. I've never heard of anything like this. 10 feet of snow with 140 mile per hour winds. So make sure that you're always preparing, ladies and gentlemen, because you never know what's going to happen where you live. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned through the entirety of this video. There's just a lot of information I want to share with all of you. A lot of this is very, very disturbing, like this next article from the Daily Mail. Medicare and Social Security are both in crisis as unfunding hits $175 trillion, almost double the economic output of every country on planet Earth. Unfunded by $175 trillion. Who's going to be affected by this? Well, you are, myself, your kids, your grandkids. We're all at risk of these programs at some point being obsolete. And think about how many years you've paid into these programs, and they may not be there for you when you need them. Where's the money? Who robbed these programs? Where did it all go? Who's responsible? Most people don't care. They're not going to care until the day comes when they need these programs. They're too busy going to baseball games. They're too busy watching Netflix. They're too busy playing video games. They're too busy doing other things other than admitting there's a problem and beginning to ask questions and holding some accountability to the people that they have elected. Very, very disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. $175 trillion unfunded for your Medicare and Social Security. Yet people are telling you and I that everything's fine. Don't worry about the $34 trillion in debt. Don't worry about the $175 trillion unfunded. Don't worry about that. Everything's good. The economy is doing really, really well. If it's doing so well, how come we're $175 trillion unfunded on Medicare and Social Security and $34 trillion in debt? If everything is so good, how come the debt keeps expanding and we cannot pay it down? How come we're still printing money? Here's another one. The U.S. national debt is rising by $1 trillion about every 100 days. We spoke about this yesterday. This on CNBC. This is extremely dangerous. We've already lost 97, 98% of our purchasing power with the U.S. dollar. And it's another reason why I'm betting against the debt, because I think at some point the dollar is basically going to be the peso. You cannot be going $1 trillion in debt every 100 days and not think that something bad's going to happen. You're going to blow up the U.S. dollar. You're going to destroy it. You're going to make it so that it's not the world reserve currency. This is why so many nations are going to join the BRICS and have already joined the BRICS. This is, again, extremely dangerous. Another reason why I own gold, why I own silver, because I'm betting against the debt. And yes, I do own dollars until I don't. And at some point, they're going to be probably obsolete because we're going to be counting our purchasing power and our wealth in ounces and not dollars. So very, very concerning. And here's another one. This coming from the U.S. Sun. And I thought this was really, really interesting. If you get 5 minutes, please check this article out. It's titled Gold Rush, Mark Zuckerberg Among Millionaires. Doomsday Prepping by Stockpiling Gold as Election and Sell Outages Spark End Times Fear. So we have millionaires, we have billionaires, we have the elite. What are they doing? They're stockpiling gold. I was reading this article today. Again, check this out. Do your own homework. Do your due diligence. Multiple factors from cell service outages to the election have caused an absolute surge in gold sales. Jonathan Rose, CEO of Genesis Gold Group in Beverly Hills, says these people are doomsday prepping while the average Joe is doing other things, such as going to baseball games, as they're watching Netflix, as they're playing video games, as they're watching reality TV. These people are doomsday prepping, and one of the things that they're doing is they're buying gold. So who's buying gold? Well, according to Jonathan Rose, it's people like Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, pro athletes, and other elites. He said people are spending fortunes on gold for prepping purposes. It's a trend that they're all doing, he says. He says people are worried about the devaluation of the US dollar and the overall economic collapse. He says, I think these people are realizing that, hey, we don't have a crystal ball per se, but we have a good roadmap. And they are looking at the problems the economy is having right now. Tech boss Sam Altman says this, I prep for survival. I have security, gold, potassium iodine, antibiotics, batteries, water, gas mask, and a big patch of land that I can fly to. That's Sam Altman saying that. And what is the average person doing? Probably not too much today, unfortunately. They're just hoping that everything's going to get better. They're hoping they don't lose a job. They're hoping that their spouse doesn't lose a job. They're probably going to go out tonight to the bars. Maybe they'll go out to dinner. Maybe they're going to go to Vegas this weekend. Maybe they're going to run up the credit cards a little bit more. But here's the elite. This is what they're doing. They're not playing games. They're not wasting money. They're doing everything they can to protect their money, protect their wealth. Jonathan Rose closes by saying this, silver will buy you the bread. Gold will buy you the bakery. If there is a doomsday situation, silver and gold is going to be more valuable than any piece of paper with an IOU attached to it. That's as clear as day, ladies and gentlemen, what he is saying. You know, in a bad situation, when things hit the fan, the only things that matter are going to be gold and silver as far as real money, as far as purchasing power. Everything else is paper. Everything else is digits on a screen. And we all know, and I'm going to say this for the millionth time, gold and silver has never been worth zero over 5,000 years of history. It is God's money. And I highly advise that everybody at least have a little, because nothing else as far as being financial, as purchasing power, as real money, nothing's going to matter except gold and silver. Paper, dollars, digits, none of this is going to matter except gold and silver. Get yourself a little gold and silver. You will never regret it. Put it away in a safe place and don't even think about it. It might go up, it might go down. It's never going to go to zero. And anywhere you go in the world, people identify gold and silver anywhere on planet Earth as real money. It will have value in any country on planet Earth. If you need a good, reputable place, go to my link down below. SD Bullion. I've been dealing with them for over 6 years. Many of you were dealing with them before I was, but I've had nothing but great things to say about SD Bullion. Go to my link down below. I think you'll be very, very happy. Or go to where you like buying from. Go to your coin shop. Go to your bullion dealer. Whoever you like dealing with. You don't have to buy where I buy. but I highly recommend SD Bullion. But I think most of all, you should own real things like gold and silver. And most of all, even before you own these things, make sure you can protect them. Make sure you have security. CNBC, immigration is taking pressure off the job market and U.S. economy, experts say. Isn't this wonderful news? You know, all of these ghost jobs, all these pretend jobs out there that nobody supposedly wants. You know, the 8.6 million jobs out there that nobody's working at because nobody's calling them back. Well, now there's some good news. We're going to be able to absorb these jobs because we have people from all over the world here who are going to be taking jobs. And so you need to realize that at some point when you need a real job, you're going to be competing against people from all over the world for that job. You're going to be competing against them. You'll be competing against their kids. And at some point, there aren't going to be so many real jobs out there. And we're going to have a lot of people competing for these jobs. And you know that how people would always tell us that, oh, people don't want to work these jobs. Americans won't work these jobs or that job. It's beneath them. Let me tell you this. Just go through history. When people get hungry, when they get desperate, you will be shocked. You will be amazed what people do to feed themselves. You'll be amazed what somebody would do for minimum wage when people go hungry. And when we see these government subsidies breaking down like they do, could you imagine if people could not get their WIC, their food stamps, their EBT, their government subsidy, and they actually had to go take on a minimum wage job? But it'll be too late because you'll be competing against millions of people from all over the world. Now, here's another one today. Maine residents furious over $13 million tax bill for Taj Mahal, where migrants get 2 years of free rent. The state wants to, get this, the state of Maine wants to construct apartment buildings for people from other places around the world, and they're going to be able to get up to 2 years of free rent at these apartments. This is, to me, just insulting the American people even more. And I was watching a video today, and they were showing some of the devastation from some of these tornadoes over the past year across the rural South. And there are people who cannot get a roof for their house, cannot do repairs, you know, don't have the money for the repairs. They have no insurance. They own the home, but they could not get insurance for the home. And now they don't have windows, doors. Some of them don't have roofs. Some of them are in need of severe repair. Nobody's helping them. The U.S. government is not helping them. No, they're going to build apartment buildings for people from all over the world, but the people right here in America who suffered destruction of their homes from a tornado cannot get roof repairs, cannot get windows, cannot get doors, because we're too busy spending money for people from all over the world to come here and get 2 years of free rent at the apartment. Absolutely repulsive. It's disgusting. There should be accountability. I can't even fathom daily what is taking place here. We have, again, vets sleeping on sidewalks. We have Americans sleeping all over on the streets of America. We have people who cannot get their homes repaired from a natural disaster, but we can build apartment buildings for people who aren't even from here. Here's another one. Mayor Adams, my goal is not to deport someone who breaks the law if it's nonviolent, like stealing. This guy right here should be run out of New York. He should be run out of town today, but that's not going to happen. People should be, they should be running out of New York right now and just leave this mess behind. Think about this. We are only going to deport you if you do violent crime, but if you do minor crimes like, you know, maybe stealing, maybe destroying property, graffiti, maybe working illegally, whatever. That's okay, as long as it's minor. Maybe driving a car without a license, working without a work permit, you know, spray painting a building, whatever. That's going to be okay. But if you do something violent, then maybe we'll send you back. Unbelievable. It is really unbelievable what is going on. This is you couldn't make this stuff up in a movie. Nobody would believe it. And if you would have told me this 20 years ago, what was coming, I would have thought that you belonged in a mental institution. But here we are. We're living now in a mental institution called the United States. Here's one from The Hedge. IRS to retrieve potentially hundreds of millions of dollars from Americans who fail to file tax returns. So if you didn't file something in the past that you should have, they're looking for you. My concern is now that people are so broke that many people last year couldn't even file their taxes. A friend of mine who is an accountant has said this numerous times, that lots of people last year didn't file taxes because they did not have the money to pay their taxes. And more than likely, it's going to be worse this year. Think about people right now who don't have the money to pay their taxes. What are they going to do? I mean, the IRS is not going away. They're going to charge you interest. They will go after assets. There are penalties if you cannot pay your taxes. And there are a lot of people right now who did not pay last year. They're not paying this year. And this problem is not going away. It's going to get really, really bad for a lot of people. But you can expect stronger enforcement coming with higher penalties, ladies and gentlemen. And I will close with this last one coming from the economiccollapse.com. We will have a hard landing at some point. I guarantee you that. No, that is not Michael Snyder saying that. It is Morgan Stanley's chief U.S. economist, Ellen Zettner, saying that. Prepare for a crash landing, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. It is a stormy, windy Saturday afternoon in Palm Desert, California. But prepare for a crash landing. This thing is out of control. They are not going to be able to get it under control. If you think that the Fed is going to save the day, you are sadly mistaken. You are drinking the Kool-Aid. You're going to be on your own. And when this whole thing does crash, and it will, not a matter of if, but when, people will wake up and they will realize that they've been hoodwinked, they've been duped, they've been fooled, and they are wiped out. The digits on the screen are gone, the stocks are gone, and at some point they're going to want to blame somebody. It's too late to play the blame game. The only person you're going to be able to blame is you, because you trusted the system, the politicians, you trusted Wall Street, you trusted the banks. Who you didn't trust was yourself. Take responsibility now of your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and your financial health, ladies and gentlemen. God bless every one of you. Like, share, subscribe. Have a good weekend. Get out there, get in shape, and prepare. Talk to all of you soon.